Hi, shalom everyone. I'm going to continue the fantastic series, friends, of the Daf Yomi. We are in Masechet Horayot, page number 10, by a beautiful, massive Sephardi synagogue over here in RBS Gimmel, the Beit Safra synagogue over respectively. And what a Beit Yosef Safra, to give it its full name. And we're speaking all about kings in today's Daf, continuing pretty much where we left off yesterday. Now, we learned about in the book of Kings in Melachim, I think in chapter number 15, in verse number 5, the Navi, the prophet over there, describes how King Azariah was struck with leprosy that did not allow him to continue acting in his capacity as a monarch at that point in time. So his son Yotam acted in his stead. Now, during this period of time, Azariah was exiled to Beit HaHoshit. This literally the house of freedom, which is understood by the Gemara to indicate that the Jewish monarch is supposed to see his role as that of a servant to the people. Now, another great commentator, the name of Meiri, he argues that the simple meaning of the phrase was that the king had a retreat where he could rest from the stresses of his work, and that Azariah retired to that place when he became unable to fulfill his duties as king. But the rabbis, they made use of the terminology to teach a lesson about Jewish leadership. Now, it's actually interesting. To underscore this teaching, I think the Gemara itself is going to tell us a story that ultimately leads to the appointment of two scholars, Rabbi Eliezer Hisma and Rabbi Yochanan ben Gudgeda, to positions of responsibility, with the admonition that they were not being honored, rather they were being asked to accept a position of servitude. Now, the story is as follows. I think once Rabbi Yoshua and Rabbi Gamliel were traveling on a boat, and then Rabbi Gamliel took bread. Rabbi Yoshua took bread as well as flour. The trip took longer than expected, and Rabbi Yoshua shared his food. When he baked using the additional flour that he had brought with Rabbi Gamliel asked Rabbi Yoshua how he knew that the trip would take longer than he expected. And Rabbi Yoshua explained that he knew of a certain star that appears every 70 years that fools the navigators, and that he thought that it might create problems with the trip. Impressed with his knowledge, Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yoshua asked Rabbi Yoshua why he was traveling on the boat. The Rosh, quoting the Ramah, the commentator, explained that he asked why someone with his knowledge would have risked traveling at this time. In response, Rabbi Yoshua would actually answer and pointed to Rabbi Eliezer Hisma and Rabbi Yochanan ben Gudged as examples, as people who are very intelligent but cannot succeed in supporting themselves. Now, this obviously will make Rabbi Gamliel decide to give the positions of responsibility to them. Now, this, which is very, very important. So we see how this position of responsibility will actually come about, just elaborating from this story. So wishing you all a fantastic day, and look at beautiful here in RBS Gimmel.